Michigan hires former Utah football coach Kyle Whittingham to be its next football coach. This is a desperate and home run hire at the same time. Thanks for being here. Let's talk about it. Locked On Big Ten, breaking news edition starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Shemon, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Hit that free subscribe button. That way you'll never miss a single episode. And if you could share, follow, and like, that helps us out. And you could hype YouTube videos too. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action for the rest of the football season, the NFL, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets throughout the postseason. So Michigan has its man. We'll also have some bowl updates. Had a couple of Big Ten bowl games. And I'll tell you how you could join our Everydayers Club. All that's coming up. First of all, Merry Christmas. Hope you had a great holiday. Big Christmas gift for Michigan here. They finally have their new head football coach. And the school, and of course, very recently, former head football coach Kyle Whittingham at Utah agreed to a 5-year deal on Friday. The 66-year-old coach, he just stepped down at the end of this past season after a 21-year run at Utah. At first, it was thought to be a retirement, but then on his way out, he said, I'm not retiring. This is me just kind of entering the transfer portal. So it sounds like after a couple of decades, both sides just decided, let's go our separate ways. So his hiring on one hand at Michigan was beginning to look a bit like a desperate plea by Michigan. I'll explain. You know, first of all, Michigan was thinking that they're Michigan. They could just open up their checkbook and get anybody that they wanted. And then they began to realize, well, they were running out of candidates here, at least people that were high on their list to start this whole process since they got rid of Shemon Moore on December 10th. And look, they needed somebody, almost anybody, in the driver's seat at this point since firing Shemon Moore for his inappropriate relationship with a staffer. The transfer portal's coming in a week. I mean, we got to know who's staying, who's coming, who's going, all that kind of stuff. Oh, and by the way, Michigan has a bowl game, which Whittingham won't be a part of. Biff Poggi is the interim head coach for that. But Whittingham's name always kind of hung around the bottom of Michigan's potential candidates and wish lists of candidates. The Kalen DeBoers at Alabama, Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State, Jed Fish at Washington. These guys weren't coming to Ann Arbor. And Biff Poggi was actually starting to look like a viable candidate at this point just a couple of days ago going into Christmas. But let me flip it now and tell you why hiring Whittingham is a home run hire for Michigan. First of all, he's a grown-up. Just going to let that breathe for just a minute. He brings no drama. He just coaches football. He doesn't get in trouble with the NCAA for recruiting violations. He has never been accused of fooling around after hours with female staffers. Just throwing that out there. And he's a football coach. And he wins a lot of games. You know, he was Utah's defensive coordinator for 10 years before getting promoted to head football coach, where he was for 21 years. Remember, he got that job 21 years ago when an up-and-coming head coach named Urban Meyer left Utah to take the Florida job, where he and Tim Tebow rewrote the record books there. He's been there ever since. I mean, you talk about stable. So had that job for 21 years, won a lot of football games. So 31 years total in the same place. That's the definition of stability. And that is exactly what Michigan needs. They need stability in their football program right now. And I mentioned he won a lot of games there at Utah. So 21 years, he went 177 wins and 88 losses. That averages 8.5 wins a year over 2 decades. That's a proven commodity. In 2008, he went 13-0. His winning percentage is just a tick under 67%. That's going to put him in the College Football Hall of Fame when he's done one day. And I have no doubt that Michigan dodged a bullet here and got a great coach. Maybe the best coach for the job when you think about all the names that were bouncing around here. You know, we always don't take a straight path to wherever we're going. Just as long as we get to our destination. I think that's the case here at Michigan. I think Michigan got the right guy, even though it was the 11th hour. Heck, it was the 12th hour. I mean, it was go time. I think it's very similar to the Penn State situation, as long as we're talking Big Ten football. Look, they had a disastrous coaching search trying to replace James Franklin. I mean, they dropped the ball, and then all of a sudden they got Matt Campbell, a very good coach from Iowa State, to come there and save them. So I still do have some questions about this hire for Michigan, though. I mean, they're not questioning the actual hire, but I have some questions. For example, when Whittingham stepped down from Utah, did he know he had a shot at the Michigan job a couple of weeks later? Did it fall in his lap? I mean, how early was he involved in this process? Because, again, there were rumblings about Sharon Moore before Sharon Moore actually got fired. So I'm just kind of curious about stuff like that. Always am. Does athletic director Ward Manuel still survive this? You know, there's an ongoing internal investigation into the athletic department brought on by the university for all the nonsense that's plagued the Michigan athletic department under Ward Manuel's watch. Or now that it looks like it's going to be a pretty good hire here, does the Board of Regents at Michigan, do they say, all right, everybody just calm down. We're going to double down on stability. We're not going to change athletic director. Because the story was, hey, look at this. Any coach that was going to interview for Michigan and be interviewed by athletic director Ward Manuel, there's a strong possibility that Ward Manuel is going to be fired here soon. And now you don't know who you're working for. And that was a hindrance, I think, to some candidates maybe taking the job or wanting the job. So now maybe the Board of Regents says, all right, we got Ward Manuel and we got Kyle Whittingham. Let's just keep things calm for a while. All right. Let's try and win some football games. Still have a 4-year NCAA probationary period from back in the day, from Spygate and all that stuff they have to operate. So they got to be squeaky clean. And they're going to be, I think, under Whittingham. Also, another question I have. What does Bryce Underwood think about this? Yes, the freshman quarterback at Michigan. And I will give Michigan credit, and I guess you got to give Biff Poggi some credit here. There have only been there have not been that many players exiting, going, I'm out of here. I'm hitting the transfer portal. I'm going to wait and see who they hire. So you got to give Biff Poggi some credit, because he immediately, when he took the job, he started going into counselor mode, talking to players and putting his arm around them and talking to parents, and keeping things steady while he's preparing to take on Texas in the Orange Bowl on December 31st. So now we know who the hire is. All right, now what happens? The kids start bolting. Do they start taking off? It all starts with Bryce Underwood. Do they all decide to stay? You know, is it all about the school and Michigan first? Look, the fact that Whittingham's coming in, he's a good coach. I don't think any player can look at that and go, oh, this guy's going to be a disaster. I don't want to play for him. I'm out of here. I don't think there's going to be a lot of that for one. And for Underwood wants to develop as a quarterback. Whittingham has a history there, and he's coached quarterbacks back in the day. Alex Smith was a very good quarterback at Utah and had a very good NFL career. Tyler Huntley, Cam Rising was there for like 7 years, it seems like. So he's very quarterback centric. I think Underwood would like playing for him if he decides to stay, if that's the case. And overall, I think this is a good hire, and it should stop any potential bleeding in the transfer portal. And maybe they can get some more kids come in and hang on to the recruits that they just signed and keep things going. This is a very reputable head coach that everybody knows. He's a household name in college football, and it's a good hire. And I think a lot of kids will stay and play for him. Michigan fans, what do you think? I mean, the drama's over now, right? Let's you got your guy, you got your Michigan man. I mean, he's not a Michigan man, but you got your Michigan man. What do you think? We'd love some comments here. Hit us up. We'd love to hear that. Meanwhile, Biff Poggi in Michigan getting ready to take on Texas in the Citrus Bowl on December 31st. If you are new to us, we're here every day. Yeah, we took Christmas off. Okay, we did. We took Christmas Day off, but we're back. All things Big Ten. All 18 teams, news, analysis of the news, opinion on that news, And you can hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you'll never miss a single episode because we are here each and every day, wherever you get your podcast. Apple, Spotify, the video version on YouTube. So don't ever miss an episode. Also, if you could share, like, and follow, that will help us out as well. We have a website, talkbig10.com with the number 10. We put all of our podcasts there. We archive them. If you're new, you can go catch a few after this for a second or third listen, see what you missed, see what we do, kind of get a feel for us each and every day. We also have a link there on that very website, talkbig10.com, where you can get your favorite Big Ten school merchandise right there. If you didn't get the Christmas gift you wanted, go there. Get it. We got great deals for you. It's a lot of fun. All right, we've got a couple of bowl updates. Had a couple of teams play on Friday in the Big Ten, so we'll get you updated there. Got another one on Saturday with Penn State, so we'll talk about that as well. We will give you details of our live podcasts after the college football playoff games involving Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana. We'll give you all the details of what we're going to do there, and we have details on how you can join our Locked On Big Ten Everydayers Club that is taking the country by storm. All that coming up in just a minute right here on a special edition of Locked On Big Ten. NFL Sundays move fast, and we're moving from the regular season into the playoffs, and one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. And that's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. It's like you're participating in the game. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. And the live spreads and money lines, they change as the game goes on right before your very eyes, and you can jump in there with live in-game betting. Player props, same thing. Stats and numbers all change all the time. You can jump on it. Monday night, Rams at Atlanta. Rams 7.5, right? -7.5. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Seems like take the Rams -7.5. So if you want to be right in the middle of all the action this season and postseason, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so could you with FanDuel. You want to go to these college football games? Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Get yourself a ticket right there with Game Time. Game Time does tickets, by the way, for not just sporting events, but also comedy shows and concerts in your local hometown, all that right there. If it needs a ticket, Game Time can get it for you with all-in pricing, no surprises right there. Start making memories. Be part. Go to one of these postseason college football games. Be part of the tailgating. Be part of the energy in the stands. Just a couple of taps on Game Time, and you're there. You know, you can get tickets for as low as $25 to college football games. And they have a view of the seat of the ticket you're about to buy. So check all of that out. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today at Game Time. Thanks for checking us out here on a special edition of Locked On Big Ten. Michigan has its new football coach, Kyle Whittingham. We'll have more on this on Monday's podcast as well. Hey, I want to thank you for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen every day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. So you already live your team, your passion every day, and now you can take it up a level and go ad-free by joining the Everydayer Club. You can get Locked On Big Ten with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, like access to other podcasts as well. It's just $5 a month, $50 a year. You can gift it to somebody. Go to lockedonbig10.supercast.com. That's the number 10, lockedonbig10supercast.com, or check the link in the show notes for more details there. All right, Friday, we had a couple of bowl games involving Big Ten teams. Boy, that Big Ten, another great postseason so far. 3-0 in bowl games, 1-0 in college football playoffs. Northwestern beat Central Michigan on Friday, 34-7. In the Game Above Sports Bowl. Preston Stone, another good game, man. 3 touchdown passes. Northwestern forced 4 turnovers. Check this out. 3 fumbles and an interception within a 12-play period from the end of the second quarter to the beginning of the third quarter in this game. Northwestern had 4 scoring touchdown drives with the average drive length of 17 and a half yards. They were picking up all these fumbles and short drives into the end zone for a touchdown. That is 6 straight bowl wins for Northwestern. Maybe you didn't know that fun fact. They finished the season at 7-6. So congratulations to them. Minnesota won in overtime over New Mexico, 20-17 in the Raid Bowl. Jalen Smith made an amazing diving 12-yard catch in the end zone for the touchdown in the overtime. And the Gophers extend their postseason winning streak to 9 games, 7 in a row for PJ Fleck since he's been the head coach. And the Gophers finished out the season 8-5. So bowl games, remember Washington beat Boise in the LA Bowl. So that's 3-0 in the bowl games for the Big Ten. And then 1-0 in the playoffs because Oregon beat James Madison thus far. Saturday, 27th, Penn State, Clemson, Pinstripe Bowl in New York. That's at noon Eastern on ABC. And these are 2 teams that were supposed to be in the college football playoffs. They were not. They both had disastrous seasons by their expectations. Both were ranked in the top 5 in the summertime, and both had dreams fall apart. So they're going to go play each other. The winner will salvage its season here in the Pinstripe Bowl in New York. All right, I also want to give you a memo here that after big games on the weekends, we go live here on Locked On Big Ten. Now, here's what we're going to do. Regarding the playoff games that are remaining, we're going to go live after the Miami, Ohio State Cotton Bowl. That is New Year's Eve, 7:30 Eastern. That game's going to end probably a little before 11:30. We're going to jump on and go live because that's what we do. You get my real, raw post-game reaction. I get yours too in real live time comments. I promise you East Coasters, I'll get you out before midnight. All right, if you want to go celebrate the new year, whatever you want to do, we'll be done before midnight Eastern time on New Year's Eve with that game. Then the next day, New Year's Day, we got 2 teams in action, right? We got Oregon taking on Texas Tech. That's in the Orange Bowl. That's at noon Eastern, followed by Alabama, Indiana on the Rose Bowl at 4 Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. We'll go live to talk about both of those games, but we'll wait because as soon as the Orange Bowl's over, the Rose Bowl's starting. And I don't want to be on the air distracted. I want to watch both. I know you do too. We're going to wait till the Rose Bowl is over. And once Indiana and Alabama's done, we'll do a recap show for both the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl. So we'll talk both Oregon and Indiana live after the Rose Bowl. So, but don't forget us New Year's Eve as well. Mark your calendars for all of that. In the meantime, there's many ways for you to interact with us at Twitter, at Talk Big Ten or X. Our website, talkbig10.com. Check it out for previous podcasts and your favorite Big Ten school merchandise. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. That part's free always. And you can follow this podcast right now on your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Apple, if you want audio only, YouTube for the video. We're here each and every day. Thanks for checking us out. Continue to enjoy your long Christmas weekend. And we'll be back at it on Monday with the absolute latest. I have already some more thoughts coming in my head about this Michigan hire moving forward. We're going to talk a lot about that on Monday still. So join us for all of that. For a special edition of Locked On Big Ten, I'm Craig Shemon. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.